doesn't matter. We've had our thick and thin, enough to know that I would rather not go through life without you. And in the end, I'm just glad we're friends. And in the end, I'm just glad we're friends.
Hey everybody, Chico and Poppy here, with Poppy getting ready to make another meal. And we're going to be doing a pot pie because we have a rotisserie turkey that we had yesterday. And we have a lot of that left over, so I was going to decide on either making a turkey burger or making the pot pies. And being that here in New York it's freezing out, I thought a nice warm pot pie sounded pretty good. So this is almost like the same episode in a way of when I did the chicken soup, because it's the same theory. We're starting with about 4 cups of a good chicken broth, and like I always tell you, it comes down to the base. Make sure you have a really good base like I use here. And I have roughly about 4 cups here. And then what we're going to do, I also have from our rotisserie turkey meal, I have some gravy here which has all sorts of flavor in it, and I'm not going to let that go to waste. That's going to go right in to our base here to give us more flavor. Okay, and because we're going to be doing a slurry later, which is flour and water, which is going to thicken this up, you want to have a little bit of a stronger flavor to start, because we're going to lose some of that flavor when we start to thicken it up. Alright, so I'm going to bring this up to about a medium heat. I have celery, carrots, and onion, which I told you is called the mirepoix. We're going to add that in there, roughly about 2 cups each. I cut them a little bit rough because it's going to be kind of like a stew. Alright. A little bit of fresh ground pepper. Now, you know, I tell you when I do the celery that I like the leaves. I don't let these go to waste. You see all the leaves there? I chop them all up, and this is going to give it a lot of flavor as well. You don't let that go to waste. Don't throw that away. Okay, we're going to be doing potatoes too. I'm going to be peeling and dicing up some potatoes too, but we don't want to put them in with the mirepoix. The potatoes would be mashed. So we're not going to put that in until a little bit later. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to put a cover on this, and we're going to let the celery, carrots, and onion get somewhat tender, and then we can go to the next phase.
20 minutes later.
Okay, so this has been on a low simmer here, and our celery, carrots, and onions are starting to get tender. I've added a little more base to this because, like I said, I want this to be a little bit strong to start, because once we start thickening it, we're going to lose some flavor. So I'm going to add a little, just like we do with our soup, I'm going to add some Parmesan cheese here to our broth. This is going to give us some more flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of parsley. Okay, we can start to slowly thicken this. What I have made here is what they call a slurry, which is flour and water. You got to make sure there's no lumps in there at all. Okay, I've stirred this up good, and we're going to slowly start adding this slurry here until we get the thickness that we want. I don't want this to be crazy thick, but I don't want it to be thin either. I took a little bit off of here and put it off to the side because Chico likes soup a little more than he likes the pot pie. So we're going to make him a little bit of the soup. It's like I said, it's the same theory. It's just before you thicken it, that's what your soup is. Alright, so I think that's going to be good for now. We got to let that kind of sit there a little bit, and we'll know in a little bit how thick it is. I'm almost ready. I have diced up 3 or 4 rough cut potatoes. I've roughed them up a little bit. And then, like I said, I have leftover rotisserie turkey here, and I'm going to start adding that to it as well. And then we're gonna be adding these potatoes, and then we're gonna be letting this cook probably another 15-20 minutes until these potatoes are just about done. Okay, so we're just about set here, guys. The potatoes are now tender. They're somewhat tender. Our thickness is about right. You can see it all here, how nice this looks. This is like a nice stew, chicken stew. Or we have turkey in ours here, but same theory. Right? Looks good. Everything is set. All we need to do now is to put them in some bowls. What I did too while this was cooking is I made a quick little pie crust, and I can put the ingredients down below for you, or you can look it up online. A very simple pie crust, nothing fancy. We have some flour in there, some salt, some sugar, a little bit of butter, and you're just rolling that out to get a nice, a nice thin crust. Nothing fancy. You could use a package as well, doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill these up here. These are pizza pans. I had these when I used to run a Pizza Hut. So we're going to load this up here like that. You see how nice that looks? I'm going to let this cool a little bit because we're not going to be eating this right away. And I don't want to put the crust on right away because it'll start to get soft. So I am going to fix this up here when this cools down just a little bit. Then I'm going to put the top on it, and then we'll put this in the oven about 15 minutes or so, just enough for the top to brown. As soon as this cools, I'm going to put the top on there, maybe do a little brush of some olive oil on there like that, and then we're going to put it in the oven, and 15-20 minutes or so out it comes. Remember, everything inside is already cooked, so all we need to do is brown the crust on top. Okay, well it seems like our crust is going to be done now, so we're going to take this out. Turn it out nice, see, nice and browned up. See? It's going to be probably about 500 degrees in there. You might want to let that sit a little bit or do a little cut there in the top, but there you have it. This is from a leftover turkey, rotisserie turkey that we had, and we made a nice pot pie out of it. We have celery, carrots, onions, potatoes, nice sauce in there. Remember what Grandma Jen used to always say? Enjoy your life and your food every day. Ciao.